In feudal Japan, the samurai class had a unique method of taking their own lives called seppuku. This practice, which originated in the 12th century, was reserved for the upper-class samurais. Through seppuku they were able to correct their wrongdoings, restore their honor, or escape from dishonorable capture. When performed correctly, seppuku was seen as the most honorable way for a samurai to pass away. This act was also considered as ritualist suicide in Japan. So why did they had to cut their belly? The reason behind the samurai splitting the belly was their belief that the soul was located there. By cutting open the belly, they believed that they were liberating the spirit to let it roam freely. Traditionally, this act involved thrusting a short sword into the left side of the abdomen, sliding the blade across to the right, and then turning it upwards. It was seen as a demonstration of skill to stab once more below the sternum, press downwards along the initial cut, and then pierce the throat. Despite being an agonizing and prolonged form of suicide, it was highly valued under the bushido, warrior code, as an efficient way to showcase the courage, self-discipline, and resolute nature of the samurais. Women belonging to the samurai class also practiced ritual suicide, known as jigai, but instead of slicing their abdomen, they chose to slit their throats with a short sword or dagger. Clad in a ceremonial white death kimono, the samurai prepared for his final moments. Before his execution, he was granted a last meal, accompanied by a unique tradition. The execution blade, ranging in size from a long sword to a ceremonial knife. The knife was solemnly placed on the last plate. As part of the ritual, he would be expected to compose a heartfelt death poem. With a resolute gesture, he would pierce his abdomen, following a precise pattern, left to right, then upwards, and finally downwards, forming a distinctive L-shaped mark. Seppuku had two forms. Thus is voluntary and obligatory. Voluntary seppuku developed as a way for defeated warriors to avoid shame by taking their own lives instead of being captured by the enemy. Occasionally, a samurai would perform seppuku to show loyalty to their lord, protest against a superior or government policy, or seek forgiveness for failing in their duties. The second form of seppuku was known as obligatory seppuku. This type was specifically conducted in order to spare samurai from the humiliation of being beheaded by a common executioner, hence they were compelled to perform seppuku as a method of capital punishment. This ritual involved the samurai stabbing himself, followed by another individual swiftly severing his head. A witness, sent by the authority that had issued the death sentence, would be present during the entire process. After making the first cut on the belly, the next step was to remove the samurai's head, putting an end to their suffering and enabling them to carry out their ritual suicide. So, any samurai who survived the initial cut and were bleeding out would be beheaded. This practice was known as dying before going into battle. With this in the mind of any samurai, they were able to confront any battle without fear of death. For more historical content, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.